Welcome back. Calls for President Joe Biden to end his re-election run continue despite his belief that he is able to serve a second term. The president held a rare solo news conference yesterday. He faced tough questions for about an hour as he tried to squash concerns over his age and ability to hold our nation's top office. The president's performance reassured some, but it wasn't without its missteps, most notably when he was referring to his running mate, Vice President Kamala Harris.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president.
Earlier in the day, he introduced Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky as President Putin. So far, more than a dozen congressional Democrats have publicly said Mr. Biden should step aside. To dig deeper into this conversation, we've asked CBS News congressional correspondent Scott Macfarlane to join us here on the floor. Scott, nice to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Good to be here.
We know this has been a tough stretch for the Biden camp going back to the debate. What are you hearing today following the news conference as more lawmakers start to pull their support?
There was a hope at the Biden campaign that news conference last night could stop the political bleeding he's been experiencing among Democrats in Congress this week. It's unclear if it's even slowed the political bleeding, because this afternoon the list of congressional Democrats who called for the president to withdraw from the race has grown longer. That list already included local Congresswoman Angie Craig, who's in one of those frontline, really competitive districts in Minnesota. But add to the list Mike Levin of Southern California, just the latest to say the president should withdraw or pass the baton or pass the torch. That list is about 20 now. It includes one U.S. Senator, too, Peter Welch of Vermont. In most of these cases, they're saying explicitly that they don't think the president has a pathway to victory or a clear pathway to victory in November. But there's also that secondary concern that problems that bog down the president politically end up being a contagion down the ballot and make states like Minnesota battlegrounds or competitive at a statewide level or at a district level. And I think that's something that has jolted Democrats with political fears.
Now, if President Biden were to step aside, how would that process work with really just a few months left before the general election?
Is there time left for much of a process is the question. We noticed from a number of Democrats who've called for the president to stand down some level of emphatic or unequivocal supports or endorsements for Vice President Harris. The latest was this morning. Jim Clyburn, one of the lions of the U.S. House, been around here forever, a South Carolina Democrat who's been a champion of President Trump and pivotal for champion for President Biden and pivotal for President Biden, said today that he would absolutely support Vice President Harris if the party turned to her. The process is going to be limited because time is limited, and that's adding, I think, to some of the stress level Democrats have been experiencing here in Washington.
You know, we've seen on social media the Trump campaign mocking President Biden's missteps. How is the focus on Biden and his ability to run affecting Trump's own race and support?
It's been tricky for Republicans. Some of them want to lean into this and fan the flames. And we saw that last night during the news conference and social media and public statements. Some Republicans criticizing the president's message and his tone and his performance ability. But we've also seen Republicans go quiet in a way that's untraditional for political leaders. The political maxim being, if your opponent is struggling, get out of your opponent's way. We're about to find out Monday in Milwaukee at the Republican National Convention how much Republicans try to drive their own message or emphasize the troubles President Biden's experiencing inside his own party right now.
You mentioned the RNC as a congressional reporter. What else will you be watching in the days ahead?
Could be quite something if former President Trump reveals a vice presidential nominee on day one of a convention. Day one is typically the sleepier of the days of a convention. That'd add a jolt of interest, but I'm also watching for an event tomorrow. The former president has a rally in western Pennsylvania right along the Ohio border. He may pull a surprise and introduce somebody then.
Got it. All right. Scott Macfarlane in Washington, D.C. for us. Thank you so much for your time.